Welcome back, guys. Part two. Sorry for the way the first part ended. It's not the first time that happened. But all right, I left off at the Ghoulies 2, and what I was gushing over it before the phone stopped. So I had these on a pack before, and I guess I didn't realize how much I loved part two until I had rewatched it on that DVD pack, and I've come to the conclusion that it's my favorite. And any film that takes place in a carnival, I think a lot of us love that. Such a ideal locale for a horror film. And so you combine that, which I'd completely forgotten about because I hadn't watched 20 years. The first part, Ghoulies 1 is definitely the one I had watched most over the years. But so I had forgotten that element of it, and the Ghoulies themselves are in it more so than probably any of the other films. Of course, you're going to have the practical effects, but I love the cast that's in the carnival. You have the fun house itself, which is a key element to the story. And then totally forgot about the final act, which features the giant, I guess I call him the lead ghoulie here. We got the cool replica prop of him here in the store. When he turns into a giant, it's basically, a guy in an awesome suit. Looks great, fantastic. And he pilgrimages through the carnival, and much like, not quite as epic as the scene in the carnival in Humanoids from the Deep, not quite that level of excellence, but it's up there. And I just forgot what a blast it was. This has basically become like a recent comfort horror film. You guys know what that is. Just something that had a bad day, you want to just throw something on to settle you down a little bit, make you smile within the genre you love. And this has definitely become, like, I guess, a new comfort horror film. And great release by MVD Collection, like when they do the cool cover there. This comes with a poster too, and I'll definitely be framing that, putting that up for sure. So Charge the Ghoulies. I have some had a workout earlier, so I'm just parched, got some water. Charge. Again, Golden Horn Awards, my annual horror award show, celebrating the best of the year in horror. Saturday, January 11th, live here on YouTube on the channel, 7 p.m. Eastern. Of course, if you miss it live, catch it in the syndication. But hope to see you there. It's a blast. It's been a great year for horror, of course, like it always is. Also, a couple other updates. I always get messaged, since I don't come on here often as I'd like. That will change at some point. But my band still in the process of recording our new full-length record. It's a long process because we're doing a lot of it ourselves. As in the past, I've always gone into a studio, kind of get it all done like a week or so, and then that's it, get it mastered. But we're kind of doing a lot of it ourselves. So we're in the guitar process right now. It's taking a long time. We all have full-time jobs, so it's just stuff we have to do on the side. And we have 3 guitarists, so that takes a while, and bass. So I'm just kind of sitting back while everyone else does the hard work and waiting for when it's my time to come in and do the vocals. But so I know some people care about the music element of my life, but and then much more importantly and cooler is my daughter, who's a horror filmmaker, completed her latest short film called Jane and the Brain. I finally saw it in September at a film festival. It won some awards, which is amazing. The film is, she's just, as a filmmaker, even as a band, each record, you want to kind of take that next step up in quality. And she's done that in spades with this one. I know she doesn't watch these videos, but Hope, I'm so very proud of you. Love you. Keep up the hard work. I know you will. And it's just, as a horror fan father, it's just so rewarding and so amazing and profound to see her doing this in her life. And when it's gonna, she's entering it in festivals and stuff. Once that kind of settles down and it ends up being on streaming, I will, of course, let you all know. If you follow me on Instagram at Horrors Ball or at Modern Horror Awards, request me on there, and I'll definitely have updates in the future. You guys got to see the film. It's fantastic. All right, that's it. All the updates there. Continue on. I'm going to go much quicker here. Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, said earlier in part 1, I'm all for this fucking with childhood stories and all that. Another slasher. I haven't watched this one yet. I know there's one, 3 Blind Mice, from a couple years ago. I haven't seen that one. And then the one from earlier this year that I had mentioned on, I think it was our last update, which Shelly and I really enjoyed, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Cool British slasher. Highly recommend it. I think this is British as well, so they're definitely getting in on this trend. And I'm all for it. Haven't watched this yet, but looking forward to it. When we went to the convention, it was Monster Mania when we had met Clive Barker, which I mentioned earlier. Vinegar Syndrome was there, of course. Always cool to actually visit their table. And finally upgraded a gun for Jennifer. Love this film. I've had, in my opinion, one of the best for the rape revenge subgenre, which is a genre I really love. Just love to see asshole rapists get their comeuppance. And this is done really well. Really, all the characters are super likable, and you just pumping your fist during the whole film. I had a really nice hardbox of this one with this awesome artwork. Classic tagline: "Dead men don't rape." And yeah, so I had a very nice hardbox of this for years, and then when I saw that they were releasing this in such a gorgeous edition, I hate putting this top on because it always catches on the plastic part of the case. Other than that, I love these the Vinegar Syndrome. What do they call these ones? I don't remember. Anyway, great to upgrade that right from the source at the Vinegar Syndrome table. Always great to talk to those guys. I'm usually always like chatting their ear off, and they're like, "Get away from me." Gut Pile. Again, that's SOV. As you can see, I picked up some ones. I'm very selective. I've actually never seen Gut Pile, and this actually is this a Donald Farmer film? No, it's not. Oh, is this Ron Bonk? Is this a Ron Bonk movie? Anyway, again, I said I'm really kind of picky when it comes, and unpredictable when it comes to my SOV stuff. Hopefully this one stays in the collection. I only keep films that I like. So hopefully this one stays. I love this artwork. I know there's like a scarecrow involved and stuff like that. So it seemed like it has the charm that I usually seek out. This is my favorite Halloween film besides the OG Halloween 4. I love it. I think it's a perfect sequel. I think it has the best final act, even final scene in the whole franchise, with Daniel Harris at the end there. Love it. Ellie Cornell, Pleasance, great cast. So 4K upgrade, super cool. Watch this in October, of course, so it's great to see in a 4K. This is from 2019, 2018, but a recent release by Wildlife. So cool that they release these. Harawada Man is a low-budget Asian film. Again, as I said earlier, so much Asian stuff coming out. I love that. Great artwork. So super cool when Wildlife usually release low-budget stuff, and it's awesome when they occasionally release a foreign film. Super cool. So never seen this. Looking forward to checking that out. Another one from this year, an anthology, Hauntology, cool title. So I'm looking forward to checking that out. Still got a lot to watch. It's always the final 6 weeks or so before the award show. It's a blitz, and I usually have a solid stack left. I mean, if the year ended today, I have plenty of great films to fill all the categories, but I still got probably 24 films to watch, and lest we not forget that Nosferatu from Robert Eggers, the only director to win Best Picture on awards twice for The Witch and The Lighthouse. Can he do it a third time? I don't know. I'm kind of having bad doubts. I don't know what it is. The pessimist in me, the doubting Thomas in me. I don't know. The even bigger budget. I'm concerned. I shouldn't be, but I'm concerned that it's not going to live up to the expectations, especially after being disappointed with Maxine this year, and I'll talk about those films later. Amazing release of Haxon from Radiance once again. Artwork on the back, people. You got to do it. Beautiful release. Again, this is tough to tell probably on camera. It has this like metallic sheen to it. So I had I've had many editions of this film over the years and have the great Criterion Blu-ray. I'll keep that. It's possibly some special features on there that isn't on this. Plus, I love the cover. So I'll keep that. So this is a double dip. This edition, I mean, if you don't have this film yet, this early, folk witch horror film with kind of like a lot of different stuff on it, almost documentary style in a way. If you don't have this film yet, then I mean, this is the edition to get. If you didn't grab the Criterion, love this artwork. So happy that they used this. I've wanted a poster of this artwork for a while. In the Scanavo case, that's what Radiance uses. Again, it comes with art cards. So probably will. This is like where's the classic image? This image, kind of probably the most famous image from this film. This is the cover of the Criterion one. I'm definitely going to frame that. Plus, it's small, so it's not going to take up a lot of room. So yeah, if you haven't picked this set up and you don't, well, whether you have this film or not, I recommend, definitely worth the double dip. Gorgeous set. Thank you, Radiance. Pretty much anything horror that they will put out, whether it's a double dip for me or not, I'm gonna pick up. Vinegar Syndrome, Hell's Trap. Another crazy, I believe this is a Mexican one once again. Trampa Infernal. This was a blast. Just loving these. Is this another like early 90s, late 80s? 89. So yeah, this is the director of Vacation of Terror 2. I love Vacation of Terror, the first one. Love it. Takes place during Halloween. Love that film. But anyway, yeah, it's great to see, like I said, about the Asian stuff, but also all this kind of Mexican stuff that I haven't seen before, which is fantastic. Another one in the pile of films I gotta watch from this year. Here for the Blood. Hear good things on this. The Screenbox release. Yeah, here it's a lot of fun. I think like Home Invasion. And is this actor a wrestler? Probably all yelling at me. Anyway, seems like a lot of fun. Looking forward to see that. Hollow Gate. Thank you, TerrorVision. I can ditch a bootleg. A lot of times I keep films. If it's an old maybe Anchor Bay DVD, something with some nostalgia to it, or a nice edition, a hardbox edition, it's gonna stay. But when I can ditch just an old bootleg, that's great. That's Hollow Gate. I love that they used this artwork here. Just a cheesy, low budget Halloween slasher. This was cool watching this in October. The Holy Virgin versus the Evil Dead. Great release by 88 Films this year. It's got the extra glossy slipcover. As I said on the last couple of days, I've gotten over the last couple of years into, I guess it's just me growing up and getting more old and I guess appreciating a good laugh more than I did before. Yeah, especially now in this world we live in. I'm really loving these kind of goofy Asian horror comedies with elements of kung fu. This was a blast. Lives up to the title for sure. So yeah, I'm kind of getting into all the hopping vampire stuff. I grabbed all that. So all about it now. This is a super cool release from the 30s, El Hombre Bestia. This is released by Gemini Entertainment, but it basically seems like, you guys remember the Cheesy Flicks cheap label that would just essentially put out VHS transfers of old films, which I have a lot still, and I am appreciative of them. There's a lot of films I have by them on DVD that have never received another release, that are certainly warrants a new release. Good film, so I'm not knocking them. So if this is all it takes to get this one, this is, I guess, the first Argentinian horror film ever made from the 30s. Great cover art. So this super cool edition, cheap, probably likely to be the only release for that to have. I know I read about it that it's an interesting story about how the director's son or something, or grandson, like somehow came about a transfer of it. It's a cool story about the whole way it was found. Anyway, Howling 2, and the Howling franchise is a franchise I've actually like revisited lately, and love the first one. And then like all the other sequels are just so all over the place in quality. This one's just bonkers. I mean, I'd have to put this, it's probably a phrase that gets overused, I think, with film critics or whatever, or even just us collectors and fans. The whole "so bad it's good." I don't like to use that often, because I feel like, a bad film can be good, if that makes any sense. But this is a bad film, but it's so entertaining. It just had to go with the upgrade. Just for the artwork alone. I had the Arrow Blu-ray. I probably will get rid of that version. I don't need two versions. This is such a beautiful edition. But yeah, it's not a good film. Speak of the Devil. Got this Asian release or Spanish release again. This is, I just can't Gabita Barbieri. It's got a little koala bear as the logo, but this is the somewhat new label I was speaking of last video on part 1. That's releasing. They've released a coffee table, and Diabolic DVD has put a lot of their editions out, and they're really really good. The transfers are nice. I like the slip covers, the artwork that they use. They got the reverse artwork here. So the Howling 5. Um, this this one's a strange one as well. Unfortunately, that wolf is hardly even in it. But man, yeah, the Howling franchise, what an erratic franchise. But I technically enjoy all the films. I think Howling 1 is by far the first one. The first one is by far the best. And then all the other ones kind of have their own cool elements about them. But plenty of bad elements as well. Love this film from this year. Will definitely be up for a lot of awards. Humanist vampire seeking consenting suicidal person. I mean, come on, that's one of the best titles, I would say, of all time. This actress I love. She was in, this is a French-Canadian film, by the way, and she was in an awesome film. Was it last year or 2 years ago? Falcon Lake, which was nominated. Did that win Best Indie? I can't remember. With these award shows, I can never, there's so many films involved, I can never remember what won and stuff like that. But that was up for a lot of awards. Great, sublime, subtle ghost story, Falcon Lake. Vinegar Syndrome, one of their sublabels, put that out. So if you're on the fence about picking Falcon Lake up, please do. But this actress was in that film, and she's the lead in this one. Also, definitely, you could put this in the kind of Let the Right One In vibe, kind of coming of age. A little more, much more humor, I'd say, in this one, but it still, has some. Definitely overall, I would call this like a vampire drama, but there's definitely a lot more humor involved and kind of satire at times, as opposed and comparing it to Let the Right One In. But damn good film, awesome, loved it. The Hungry Snake Woman, thanks to Mondo Macabro. We all love Mondo. Who cares what number it is, but I do get the limited edition red cases. I like the red case; they look good on the shelf, and then you get the freebies and all that. So again, I'm loving these little art cards that can be framed with a nice just 4x6 or 5x7 frame for the wall. Saves a lot of space. I haven't watched this one yet. This is from 1986, Indonesian film. So again, just getting so much great stuff. Sorry, I'm like all over the place with my piles here. Let's see. Skipping up to N. Oh no, my bad. There's just something in the wrong spot here. I saw the TV Glow, another one from this year. Saw this was lucky enough to see this in the theater. Absolutely fantastic. Fantasy, horror, sci-fi, a nice kind of combination of all those subgenres. Great film. Great 80s aesthetic. Love that A24 puts out physical media. They don't do it for all. They might do it for all their films. I have quite a bit, but I love that. It's not surprising to me that such a cool film company, production company, which puts out so much great stuff. Probably most like notoriously for like The Witch. I know A24. When The Witch came out, that was probably the kind of breakthrough, right? Film to get film theater distribution for kind of like an indie feeling film. So it doesn't surprise me that such a cool production company would take it upon themselves and be cognizant of the fact that the fans of their films would want physical media. So it took way too long to get that out, what I was trying to convey there. But great release, highly recommended. And this lead act, they're both great. Essentially, mostly two characters, the friends here, the guy here, just great actor. And man, the final act was such a gut punch to me. His performance hits you right here, and like the director who did I'm gonna forget what the director, something world oh man, that sucks. I forget the director's last film. I have the Vinegar Syndrome release of it, and it was nominated for some stuff. Anyway, the director, the trans director, I can't of course begin to relate to what a trans person goes through, especially my heart aches for what's going on in this country and what's going to be affected, and the people that I care about are going to be affected. Having a daughter, having trans friends, I can't begin to relate to that. I do my best to try to, but what I do is reach my hand out and say that I'm with you and I care and you are equal. And there's the scene at the end of this film. it's just such a gun punch. Again, for something that I can't truly identify with, but just definitely a heavy film, and that final act, just love it so much. Great job by that director. Can't wait to see what they put out in the future. Love that they're in the genre we love, the genres, because again, that has sci-fi elements, fantasy elements. Ivan Piri. I know Ricardo Freda, I guess, kind of gets the credit for this, but depending on which story you believe or hear, it's kind of Mario Bava's first film. I know Freda started it, jumped off the production, and Bava finished it, but there's some people who kind of say it's essentially Bava. Nonetheless, great to have Radiance. Thank you very much. Love that artwork. Mario Bava is my favorite filmmaker of all time, and great to have a nice release. There's some really nice reverse art too, which I was tempted to use, but booklet. So I'll definitely probably ditch the DVD, my old DVD of this one, because great release. Thank you, Radiance, once again. Another one of that from Wild Eye Releasing of the low budget Japanese Akini Man. I think it's from the same director as the other one. So again, super cool artwork. These look a lot of fun. This one's in the woods. These are from 2019, I believe. So I'll probably watch them back to back. So super cool. Wild Eye giving us those awesome releases. Another one of my faves from this year, Immaculate, that I definitely wasn't expecting to love so much. Saw this in the theater. A testament to where we're at right now with theatrical horror, just so much quality. This one is another one, very European influence, like I said, with the First Omen. Makes for a great to actually watch them. When I rewatch them, after seeing both in the theater, I watch them back to back on physical media. Makes for a great double feature. Great media book release here. Yeah, Sydney Sweeney was fantastic. So again, very Euro influenced, and practical effects mostly, and the soundtrack, which had a musical cue, which my jaw dropped. I looked over at Shelley when we saw it in the theater, and it had a musical cue from the film Red Queen Kills 7 Times. I was like, what is that? That's crazy. The hearts were flying out of my head at that point. Island of Terror, another double dip. I told you I just love 88 Films, what they're doing with these Tygon releases. In this case, it is Planet Film Productions. But again, they have the year 1966, a little graphic from the film, the production company, just so well done. I love this film. Creature feature with Peter Cushing. A cool creature. I will keep my Scream Factory release of this because it has probably the best artwork of the film. So I'm keeping it for the artwork alone. But great cast, awesome film. Definitely a comfort horror film that I'll throw on every now and then. It came from Beneath the Sea. I watched this months ago, but it was actually a first time watch. Believe it or not, as a big fan of black and white creature features. Finally watched this one, this British film. Nice release by Indicator. A blast. Lived up to my hopes for it. Great one from Mono Macabre again. The Killer Is Not Alone. Classic title there. Ishialo. Is this Spanish? I believe it was Spanish. Yeah, Spanish from 1973. I watched this shortly after I got it. And honestly, I need to rewatch because I don't remember much about it, but I remember definitely enjoying it immensely. It comes with a booklet, of course. I love the red case from another one from the Kino Cult collection and the Kingdom of the Spiders. I had an old DVD of this. We'll definitely be getting rid of that. William Shatner. But as I say, when you rewatch a film after you get an upgrade that you haven't seen in years, I didn't watch the DVD in years. Forgot how much of a blast this film is. It was just awesome revisiting this film, and we'll definitely want to watch more often. Is there a reverse art? There is, yeah. Super cool. Love that. So 2 great artworks. Love that artwork. Just a blast. Great effects, of course. Love these nature run amok films from the 70s and 80s. So low budget one from this year I've yet to check out. I know this came out earlier in the year. Late checkout. Awesome cover art there. Felissa Rose is involved. And this is from Scream Team Releasing. Again, generally like their films. Usually not great stuff, but I generally enjoy them and appreciate that they release low budget stuff. Another one that's gotten a lot of praise this year. I see this one on a lot of best of the year lists. It's didn't quite reach that level for me personally. It will certainly get some nominations, I'm sure, in the awards, but not, I didn't love it as much as some people did. Super fun, awesome scene in the theater. Cool premise, of course, with the live show. I felt like it was building up to something bigger, and I thought the final act was kind of it had some CGI too at the end, which was kind of a disappointment. A film of this ilk, I'd like to see more practical effects involved. But again, overall, super fun film. Not anywhere near my top of the year by any means, but enjoyed it immensely. I love this. With this steelbook, you got this audience welcome pack, October 31st, 1977. Super cool. I love that. I'll probably have this out somewhere here in Nightmare Video, and it comes with a couple cool things. I think an air freshener in there. So that I love that little extra feature there added to the nice steelbook. I know there's a bunch of cool additions for this film. I didn't love it enough to spend the money on like what Second Sight put it out, and Umbrella did as well. So super cool that we have so many options to choose from. It's not just one great release. You have multiple options for some films, and I was fine with that nice steelbook. Speaking of steelbooks, Leatherface. I think I'm in the minority on this one. This is my favorite Texas Chainsaw film in the franchise besides the OG. This is, of course, by who I consider the greatest modern horror filmmakers, Alexandre Bastillo, Julian Maury, French directors. I love this film. Prequel, very character-driven, which I thought was super cool. Anyway, that Walmart had that, and I double dipped and grabbed that. Excuse me. I need to. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for watching. It's been a while. This is from a new label I found, Not Quite Reality, and they only do found footage films, I believe. And this is Lights Over Montgomery County. Super cool what they did with this, the evidence. You see that? I know there's been a few films lately that have gone this route with the cool like evidence packaging. That's super cool. I haven't watched this yet, so yeah, head over to Not Quite Reality. There's a bunch of films on there, and I grabbed a couple, but I haven't watched any of them yet. Amazing release. Speaking of Umbrella Entertainment, what a release of Lizard in a Woman's Skin. Fulci's kind of odd film. It starts off very like psychedelic and kind of over the top, and then settles down a little bit. It's a tone wise, it's kind of all over the place, but definitely a kind of certainly a fun Fulci film, a unique one. Again, this comes with booklet and the art cards. Just again, Umbrella just really killing it the last couple of years. I feel like it all started. I mean, they've been putting out good stuff for years, but I feel like the turning point with them was the amazing Razorback box set from a couple of years ago. Speaking of which, Long Legs again. Osgood Perkins, loved February, aka The Black Coat's Daughter. I loved his Gretel and Hansel. Loved his take on that. So I've liked his stuff. So I was very highly anticipated with this one with Mika Monroe, who's been in the indie scene for a while. Of course, Nicolas Cage, and yeah, I was super stoked. I liked it very much. I think it's a good film. I just wasn't great to me. There's some odd tonal shifts. Like the first scene is so creepy and well done, and I think unfortunately it peaked. One of those films that peaks in the first scene when they kind of show Long Legs from the chin down. Great shot, 70s feel, and even like that tone in the first half was very kind of like subdued and kind of atmospheric and moody and creepy. And then when it kind of, as the film progressed, the narrative kind of starts throwing everything at the fan, all these different kind of elements to the killer. And then you see Cage more, and he gets at times, I guess, expectedly, at times a bit goofy, and kind of towards the end too. I mean, here's a spoiler. I would assume by now you would have seen this film, but if you haven't yet, fast forward a little bit. But the scene towards the very, is that like the very end of the film? When he kind of just says like, "Hail Satan," real goofy. I don't know. Just those tonal shifts didn't work too well for me. So it was a very inconsistent film as a whole. That said, very good. Enjoyed it. Obviously enough to get it, but as you can see, I got the DVD, so I didn't. I guess that's a testament to how much I liked it. I didn't need the 4K or even the Blu-ray. Maybe I'll change my mind. I haven't watched it a second time, so sometimes second watches can definitely change your opinion. But again, overall, a good film, but that I was expecting to be great. There's one from this year, Lord of Misrule. This was a cool folk horror film. Definitely recommended, British film from this year. So folk horror, I thought it was really good. One I haven't watched yet, Rose Glass, who did Saint Maud from a couple years ago, which I loved. Love Lies Bleeding. This is kind of like, horror, thriller, kind of a genre mix here, but one that I will definitely confident that I can fit into the, horror adjacent, whatever. So great release by A24. I like Kristen Stewart a lot. I think she's a great actress, and looking forward to watching this nice edition. So this is one of my ones that I have to watch here at the end of the year. Oh, here we go. So I thought it was on my last update, but it wasn't. Mary Had a Little Lamb. This is another of the childhood, the forsaken childhood. What are they doing to our innocent little stories? Which a lot of those stories were kind of fucked up anyway, were they not? But anyway, Shelly and I had a blast with this one. Super fun. I love the killer. The lamb mask, the sheep mask was great. Super fun. Recommended. Again, what I mentioned earlier, Maxine, just an overall disappointment. I loved X. Pearl took it to the next level for me. To me, Pearl was an absolute masterpiece. Both of them were nominated for Best Picture. Pearl was just so amazing. So going into this one, hearing that this took place during the 80s and with Ty West, what he did so well, what surprised me about this one, and really to its detriment, and basically my biggest complaint in this one, she was great. The vibe, the 80s vibe, the atmosphere, the story, it was all cool, but the writing was, to me, really suffered, the screenplay, which is surprising to me because I think Ty West did such a good job with X, and particularly Pearl, which I thought was incredibly well written. Just it suffered to me. The final act was very kind of generic, and I don't know. Overall, disappointment again, much like Longlegs. Enjoyed the film, but it's by far a disappointing wrap up to the trilogy. Mukuro. Speaking of trilogies, a trilogy I've never seen. This is by Error 444, doing the Lord's work. I'm pretty much buying majority of what they're putting out. They're just doing this crazy extreme Asian stuff, all different types of budgets from all over the place. So excited to watch that. Thank you, Error 444. You're doing awesome stuff. Here's another one from Not Quite Reality. This is a found footage Mothman film, so I'm excited for this. Again, I haven't watched these yet, but when found footage is done right, it can be amazing, and I'm hoping those end up being amazing. All right, guys, I'm trying to plug along as quickly as possible. Night of the Demons 3 finally upgraded this film. I'm a fan of the sequels. Of course, the OG is the best. I don't like the remake. I thought that was awful, but I like 2 and 3. I think they're fun. I think it helps to have Amelia Kincaid involved. That certainly helps. But practical effects, great makeup effects. The sequels have, of course, the cool 90s vibe. I like them. Not as anywhere near the original, but I enjoy the sequels. It's nice to upgrade that. Sorry, I'm very thirsty. Very parched. Another one from 88 Films in this collection, Night of the Big Heat. This film lives up to that name because everyone in this film is just sweaty through the whole thing. Everyone's just dripping. Again, I like showing off the spine, how well it's done. I love this film, and this is a nice upgrade. This artwork's horrible, but I had a pretty bad Blu-ray of this one. Wasn't great. Wasn't a great transfer. I'm hoping the transfer is a lot better on this one. I expect to. I haven't spun that yet. Love this release. Night of the Blood Beast and Attack of the Giant Leeches. I love both of these films. These are DVDs, very bad quality. That definitely comfort horror. I would throw on late at night before bed. You're kind of dozing off and getting ready to have to get up early for work, and you just want something fun and comforting. Definitely these two films. Film masters have been putting out these like double features of these black and white films, and it kind of bothered me. Like some of these films I feel like deserve their own release. I mean, it's cool getting two, of course, but some of us, us collectors are very neurotic people, right? And sometimes I'm like, that deserves its own release, definitely saves room. But I was wondering like how randomly sometimes these double features happen. This one I didn't realize that they were from the same director, which is super cool. And there's These are Roger Corman produced films, and there's one thing that I'm guilty of doing to a fault is not spending enough time with all this collection, spending enough time watching bonus features for films. And every time I do, I enjoy them, and I say to myself, I need to do this more, and I don't do it. But I guess I'll call that a New Year's resolution to watch more bonus features. But I did on this, and there's so many great anecdotes on this director and what he went on to do, and how much he actually loved doing these films and doing. He would go on to do westerns, some critically acclaimed stuff, some TV stuff. So he actually had a very prolific, long career. But he apparently really enjoyed doing horror films, and really particularly enjoyed these two ones. And he was, I guess, a very efficient filmmaker. And yeah, it was cool hearing that stuff about, two cheesy, somewhat obscure movies that I really love. Nightcaller, man, Chad Farron's he went years without doing anything, and now the last couple of years he's just cranking out films. Chad Farron, probably, at least in my mind, most known for Easter Bunny Kill Kill, which I believe was his first film. To this day, still my favorite of his catalog. By no means great films, guys. His films are, average to good, I guess I would consider them. But I like having his films in my collection. There's a lot of heart in his films, I believe. A lot of character to them, practical effects. And I've enjoyed the films from the last couple of years. And this one, I'll pick up all his work. I love this film, French film, Night of Death. Is this 1980? Yeah, 1980. I don't think this film gets enough credit. I still have I think it's Synapse DVD. I've had that forever. So finally get a Blu-ray. And I watched, this is from the label Les Chat Fimuc. Probably not saying that right. I'm bad with trying to pronounce French stuff. I can't even say Jean Rollin correctly, and he's like one of my favorite filmmakers ever. But super nice. If you love this film like me, kind of creepy, cool, at times gory film from 1980, French film. I love it. I think it's very underrated. Great score, great cast, but nice to finally have a Blu-ray. I'm shocked that this doesn't have another Blu-ray release, but watched it recently. Transfer looks great. Got this at Walmart. I hate Walmart. I try to go in there as few times as I possibly can, but this is a cool release during their Halloween end cap that they have. And I actually don't have any. I've never seen any in the Night Gallery series, and I know the Kino I believe put the Blu-rays out. So maybe, I guess, if I love this, which I'm kind of expecting to, I will upgrade to the Blu-ray. But I think this is a good start. Kind of cool embossed orange slipcover. Of course, you can hear when you have these huge packs with multiple DVDs, they always break. Great upgrade for Nightmare on Elm Street. I went with this one. I know there's a couple different releases available, but went with this steel book with a nice hard box, and you got a whole envelope with a bunch of art cards inside there. I'm not going to waste time opening that. I'm sure you all have seen it, but transfer looked and sound great, so happy to upgrade that classic. This is another upgrade, Nightmare, Italian horror, of the kind of infamous scene there on the back. Funniest thing with this is, so I had the old Code Red Blu-ray for many years, DVD too. You guys know that one. But this was, man, I rewatched this for the first time in years, and I completely, you kind of remember just kind of like the over-the-top gore, and of course this scene and everything. Man, I completely forgot what a just kind of dark and moody, atmospheric film this was for much of the runtime. And I just rewatching it, I absolutely fell in love with it all over again. Again, completely forgot how really just the tone of it, how truly moody it was. And just being reminded of that was such a cool revelation. Nothing But the Night DVD, definitely a film that, a pretty dull, drab film, which, hey, you got these two guys involved. I'll watch them have coffee or tea or whatever for 2 hours, and I'll be fine. But pretty dull, but what a great final act. A great curveball final act that I actually didn't see coming. Love to see a Blu-ray of that. Surprised that this doesn't have a Blu-ray. With those two, absolute legends together. Speaking of legends, Vincent Price and Christopher Lee, the Avalon Box. Not the best of that these guys have been involved with by any means, but I like the film enough to upgrade it. I had the DVD for a while, and Kino with the nice slipcover artwork. From the director of Caveat, if you haven't seen that, it was great. I thought it was great that this got a theatrical release. So cool. Saw it in the theater. I didn't love the director of Caveat. I didn't love it as much as Caveat, but I did love it all the same. Irish filmmaker. Oddity had some genuinely creepy moments, much like Caveat. More of a playful final act, which I thought it was really cool. Actually, kind of overall reminded me of, as a whole, of like a film that could have come out in the 40s or 50s. It had that playfulness to it. Speaking of a classic old film, Old Dark House. This is an upgrade. Another upgrade. I have a Blu-ray of this already, but I had to get this media book. Honestly, for that artwork, look at that. That wonderful cast, beautiful artwork, and this is by NSM Records, German label. But so strictly for superficial reasons with the collection, I got that edition. Again, another one from Chad Farron. The last couple he did Pig Killer. He did like the Nightcrawler, which I said it's just, here's another. He's got an H.P. Lovecraft one now, the old ones. I enjoyed it. Again, kind of up it's just, his films aren't great by any means. The acting's kind of spotty sometimes, but you're going to get some practical effects, and you're going to get a lot of, I can feel the heart in his films. So, and for them to get nice editions like this, I'm going to support it. Beautiful release. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Severin Opera. I think it's one of Argento's best films. And he has a lot of best films, so, but I actually didn't have trouble. I know they sent out the disc. I have the disc, but I didn't have any problems with mine. So I guess I was lucky with, some discs had issues, but I'll hold on to the disc they sent me just in case. But yeah, beautiful release. This one from this year, Path to Pain. I haven't watched this yet. It is a Spanish film, supposed to be very gory. Got it for very cheap. No idea if it's good or not. We'll see if it stays in the collection, see if it gets any nominations. Pet Sematary, beautiful upgrade. Look at that box. I love it. 4K. Again, I'm not trying to get everything on 4K, but picking our spots. I actually didn't have, oh no, did I have? I do have this on Blu-ray. I was going to say I didn't have it on Blu-ray, but I do. So this was another upgrade. But yeah, a lot of cool, some stickers in there. I know they put out Rosemary's Baby, which we'll see if I doubled it. I have a really nice Blu-ray hard box of Rosemary's Baby, so I really don't need to grab, but the artwork is cool, and I probably will, guys, right? So we have no self-control. Error 444 again, Red to Kill. Look at that. I can get rid of my very old DVD, which had shitty artwork. Very extreme film. Definitely one you got to be in the mood for. You got to be in a fucked up mood, but man, super cool. Wait. Another one from that label I said. I'm just going to show you the logo there with the little koala bear. Awesome Spanish. What this translated to? Look these up on. Pretty sure they're still available on Diabolic DVD. This is a Spanish giallo from 1981 that I hadn't even heard of, and it was great. This lead actress was fantastic, who I didn't really recognize from any other films. I thought she was really fantastic. I'm kind of surprised that she hasn't been in other, to my knowledge, other genre work. But this was awesome. So definitely grab some of those on Diabolic if they still have them. The Reptile upgrade Blu-ray. Love this Hammer film. Super fun. Trying to go a little faster here, guys. Reptilicus. What a release. What an unexpected release by Vinegar Syndrome. I wish they would do more just like older films. Even I love when they release like their black and white stuff randomly. I'm all for that. But to have Reptilicus on 4K, cool thing is I had wanted this DVD. This has been in the want list for years. I know there was this on like a Scream Factory double pack possibly with another creature feature maybe, and I know there was a UK DVD that I almost purchased multiple times. So I'm glad I held out, but I never would have thought this would have been an option. But I love the film, of course, first time watch. Super cool release by Warner Brothers Archive Collection, The Return of Dr. X. I like the Dr. X films. The interesting thing with this film is the only horror film that the legend Humphrey Bogart appeared in. So that's really cool. I haven't seen this film, so definitely I think that alone is a cool, interesting kind of fact to gain interest and be compelled to pick this up. I mean, whether he was in it or not, I was going to get this, but I guess I never really realized, you know, when you think Humphrey Bogart, I was like, wow, that's cool that he was in a horror film. Ring did a 4K upgrade for this. I actually didn't have this on Blu-ray, so this is a DVD to 4K upgrade. Kind of ridiculous that I didn't grab the Blu-ray. I know there was the box set that Arrow put out that I should have grabbed, but yeah, this was great watching this on 4K. Super cool. What a film. Okay. Speaking of getting those kind of like indie auteur filmmakers who I mentioned on part 1, Eric Stanze or Stans, I don't know how to say it. Savage Harvest. This was his awesome debut, and it was so cool. I had the DVD of this, and I think this was the cover of the DVD. I can't remember. I haven't touched it in so long, but this was his, I guess, seminal debut, and there was just so you could see a lot of in following his career now for all these years and seeing how he's progressed. I mentioned my daughter earlier, how to see her, you know, seeing those progressions as a filmmaker, both in quality of, you know, cinematography, writing. You're able to get better actors and all that stuff. But just seeing him, seeing a couple characters in this film who would end up in some of his later films. But I mean, you saw the talent right from the start here. So super cool that what sub label is this? Saturn's Core. So super fun having a nice edition of Eric's first film. Great release. This is Deaf Crocodile. They're doing some awesome things. The Savage Hunt of King Strock. This was a first time watch. I hadn't even heard of this film. Folk horror film. I actually watched this over the phone, you know, just messaging back and forth with my buddy, who may or may not be watching right now. We watched this together, and just great. Lived up to, anytime you get a new folk horror film, it lived up to the hype, and or the hype that I give it, being a big folk horror fan. So if you haven't picked this one up yet, I know it's limited. I don't know how limited, but come on, you got to grab that. Screamwalkers from this year, low budget. This was a blast. Kind of a tribute to SOV horror. Kind of like a homage to the Scream Master. Kind of. This was a lot of fun. It looked fantastic. The cast was cool. I enjoyed this one a lot. Probably will get a best low budget nomination. This chick here, she was a super hottie. Super hottie. Seed People. Speaking, I talked about kind of like those full moon cheesy films. Is this an actual full moon production? I think so, yeah. But this film, I love this film. And I had it on DVD, and I had rewatched the DVD, you know, over the last year, and was reminded how much I loved it. And then I was like, damn right, I'm gonna upgrade Seed People. Yeah, I love how straight they play it, and then the acting when they're, you know, not overacting, but just playing this ridiculous film straight. And the characters, I think, are really, really likable, which goes a long way in any film, but especially a film that's like, you know, overtly cheesy and everything. Sleep. This is an Asian film from this year. Enjoyed it. Kind of creepy, cool story about a guy who is having trouble sleeping and gets violent and seeing things in his sleep, and he's worried that he's becoming violent. It's super cool film. Is that a Korean film? No, this is a Japanese film. It's very dark in here. I can't see. Sleepy Hollow. Shelly and I love this one. Tim Burton. Some CGI, some, you know, questionable CGI, but there's some good practical effects too, and just that you know, Halloween atmosphere, and I think it does a great job. Johnny Depp and Christina Ricci, good chemistry, I think. So it was a fun one. So cool to upgrade that to 4K. Something we watch every October. Smile, 4K. The interesting thing about this, I didn't see this the year it came out. And, you know, you guys know me. I'm always in tune to the monitor stuff. I just didn't get to see it. Wasn't really excited to see it. I don't think it would have ended up, it may have gotten maybe a theatrical nomination or something. But nonetheless, I was really impressed with this. And I went and saw the sequel from this year. Loved it. Fantastic. Definitely a Best Actress nomination for the lead. She was great. So I'm a fan of the Smile films. Sorcerers, this is a first time watch. I've almost grabbed this UK Blu-ray over the years. Glad I waited and was rewarded with another great edition. But again, 88 films, just killing it. Even his late career stuff, I love Boris Karloff. Same thing with Vincent Price, Barbara Steele. Their late career films. Barbara Steele is still with us, by the way, but even their late stuff was just great films, in my opinion. Julian Murray and Alexandre Bastille, they have a new one this year, and this was called The Soul Eater. There is a Region 1 Blu-ray and 4K coming out, I think, in December, but I couldn't wait. I didn't know if that was happening at the time I purchased this, so this is the French release, which was English-friendly with subtitles. Awesome serial killer film. It's not one of their best films of their great filmography, but I would deem it a much more darker version of Longlegs. Really, I would say that's a far superior film from a serial killer perspective that came out this year. Now, a low budget one from this year, Spring Lakes, highly recommended. It's got some folk horror elements, well written, good cast, like the final act. Highly recommended. Shrigala. Actually, recently watched this. I should have grabbed it right when it came out. I was going to, but you keep track of how many are left in stock. But this was awesome. Definitely a big time Friday the 13th. I mean, whether you want to call it homage or ripoff. I mean, even the scene towards the end where the killer comes out of the water. I mean, obviously they were saying, hey, we are making our Friday the 13th version. But yeah, super cool, well done, some nice gore, makeup. That was super fun. Folk horror film from this year, Starve Acre, and it stars the Morfydd Clark, who starred in Saint Maud. So I'm excited to watch this one. This will be part of that stack that I speak of. My final stack of the year. Super excited to watch that. Another one from this year that I haven't seen yet, Sting. I know some people said this is a very, very fun and cool spider film. I'm hoping at least for some practical effects. I liked this cover over the U.S. release. Another one from this year, Strange Darling, that I was lucky enough to see in the theater. Absolutely fantastic, horror thriller. Her and the lead actor, fantastic. Great final act, twists and turns, some humor as well. Great score, cinematography. Can't wait to rewatch that. I haven't rewatched it since seeing it in the theater. Superstition. Great release by Imprint. This is an upgrade. I have a great leather hardbox edition of this. Love this film so much. Awesome kills, practical effects, atmosphere, over the top at times. This awesome looking scene actually is in the film too. You think maybe that's just for, to rope you in, but that scene, pretty close to how it looks here, is in the film. Love that film. Another one from this year, T-Blockers. Who put this out? Dark Star. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's kind of like an artsy, it's an Australian film. And yeah, anyway, excited to see that one. So as you guys can see, I got a lot to watch. I'm going to warn you guys now, if this video cuts off, I'm sorry. I got a little bit left here. I'm trying to get through it. If it cuts off, I'm not going to bother with a part 3. So I apologize in advance. I'm going to be getting a new phone soon, somewhat soon, so I won't have to deal with this crap. But look at this edition of The Tenant. God. I will be getting rid of now my Scream Factory Blu-ray. Probably sending it back to Orbit, who takes used back and will give you store credit or cash. But man, look at that artwork. Roman Polanski, one of those piece of shit personally, but sometimes difficult to separate the art from the art from the artist. Quintessential point, I guess, here with this shithead that was Roman Polanski, but he made damn good films. And wow, what a release. Another great release, once again, by Umbrella. Speaking of French horror, that French new wave that we all were blessed with in the early 2Ks. And I always feel like, you have I think the big four, you had Martyrs, Frontiers, Inside, and High Tension. Those, like four kind of, were always kind of lumped in there together, right? But I always thought that this came out right around the same time, and I feel it should be the big five as opposed to the big four. Just stupid shit that I think in my head that, that I bitch about. I love them. Super creepy, somewhat home invasion, loosely based on a true story. I actually looked into the story, and there's definitely the case was really fucked up. So probably not as loose as probably most of the other loosely based stories, but what a great edition. I still have, I'm looking at it right now, the old slip-covered edition from, is it Magnet? So I might keep that DVD for nostalgia purposes. We can't let go as collectors. Thesis, you know, great Spanish horror. This is the one I've waited for the right time to upgrade. Wicked Vision Films put out a Blu-ray that I came this close to buying, but I can get rid of the DVD, and now I go at 4K. So I haven't watched this in years. Super cool, somewhat found footage, killer film. Be nice to watch that for the first time in years. Tiger Stripes is from this year. This is a, oh man, where is this from? This is Malaysia. Yes, Malaysia. I actually got it right. Super cool coming of age metaphorical film. Not like one of the year's best or anything, but highly recommend it. Great artwork. Enjoy it if you're into artsy metaphorical horror. Tomy, again, this is a great release. I love Tomy. Some of the sequels. I wish, honestly, there was they did a box out of this. The first one is the best in my opinion, but again, this is one. I love that they released this, and I rewatched it for the first time in years. Super, super cool film. And I just wish that like Slipmouth Woman or The Curse, I wish they got this treatment. But hey, the fact that they got released at all is great. I know a lot of you guys picked this up, of course. I actually had a really nice, for a couple of years now, Blu-ray hardbox edition of this film that I've been able to enjoy now for years. And a lot of people, like, honestly, it was limited to like, you know, I don't know, 100 or so. So most people wouldn't have that. But of course I had to upgrade again here. And I'm not going to show all this because I'm sure you've all seen it. But I went, all the covers were great. Obviously, you can't go wrong. I went with this one kind of literally, I may as well just roll the dice. Here's a Scanavo case. I said I'm not going to show the stuff, and I'm doing it anyway. Ragman. I didn't get to watch it. I don't think I got it in time to watch it this year, but I'll watch it next year. All right, winding it down. Hopefully I don't cut off. What a release. This might definitely probably get a Release of the Year nomination. Indicator, thank you very much. I love these sets. Elva Impero, and as well as The Vampire's Coffin. So I had a very bad bootleg of Elva Impero. So this is a much welcomed release, and I love what Indicator does. They've, of course, been putting out a bunch of the genre and stuff, and I have looking over here on the shelf to the right of me, big Indicator horror collection. But yeah, so super limited to 8,000, not very limited, but highly recommended. Speaking of just classic silent film vampire, finally grabbed this edition again. This, hate that. Why? Eureka, I love Eureka. I have the Criterion DVD of it, which is cool. But I wanted this limited Eureka set, which for some reason I didn't pick up right when it came out. And luckily I've kind of waited, and I found this for a solid, reasonable price on eBay. And I got that a couple months ago, so just in time for October, and I watched that in October. Great foreign film from this year, Violet. Sorry, I'm trying to think where this film was from. I'm sorry. Of course, it doesn't say. Anyway, folk horror elements. This lead actress was fantastic. Highly recommended. Check out the trailer. See if it would be something you're into. Another one for the pile that I still need to watch. We Are Zombies. I don't know if like a zombie comedy is something that, like, are any of us craving that anymore? It became such a thing for so long. So this is from the director of Turbo Kid, which I loved, and Summer of '84, which I fucking love that film so much. I did a top 50 of last decade, and that was part of that. That film was perfect to me. I would have loved the sequel, Summer of '84. Anyway, so for those very talented directors, what are they called now? They go by RKSS. I think it's two directors. But definitely one of hoped for a zombie comedy to be their next film. Nonetheless, had to get it. I hear there's some great effects, and hopefully it's good. But I would have pretty much liked anything else other than that from them. This is super cool. The Well, Italian film from this year, starring Lauren Lavera from Terrifier. By the way, I saw Terrifier 3, loved it. I'm sure you guys did as well. new Christmas classic. But yeah, well, and this cool thing is this is from the director of. He hasn't done a film in 12 years. He did Tulpa, which I love, which was a kind of quasi giallo, and Shadow, which was another cool film. So this is his brand new one after 12 years. I think he's done some other stuff, but as far as like horror work, so I'm so stoked for this. A shame that, to my knowledge, is the only release. It's just a UK DVD. So I'm really looking forward to this one. It's going to have practical effects, and it's cool that Lauren Lever, I guess, went to Italy, and I think it's shot in Italy. So super excited for that one. This is by Chris Moore. Again, seeing the ascension of a filmmaker, watching his career progress. When the Trash Man Knocks, great artwork. Got this directly from him. He's done Blessed Are the Children, which was a cool kind of abortion-themed film. He definitely does heavy topics. He did Children of Sin last year, which I loved. That was nominated for Best Low Budget. So about religious indoctrination, which I can very much relate to. So love his work, seeing him progress. Best Picture, A Wounded Fawn from last year. Nice to see this. I had a bootleg of it. Nice to see this with this wonderful artwork by Travis Stevens. Talk about him taking next level, going from, to me, like fun, solid horror films to like just great Euro influenced Best Picture nomination with the lovely Sarah Lind, who is his real life beau. So thank you, that Vinegar Syndrome sub-label, whatever. I don't got time. One of my absolute favorites of the year, You'll Never Find Me. Have you guys seen this? I think it was streaming on Shudder, if I'm not mistaken. This is Umbrella. Thank you for releasing that. You guys, this film was just perfect. Sound design, acting, cinematography, score. I love it. Definitely one of the best of the year in my opinion. Check this out. Please buy it. Just fucking buy it. If you have a surround sound system, it sounds amazing. Definitely is going to be up for a lot of awards this year. I have no complaints about this film. The interesting thing about it, I got a couple left. Basically only two characters in one location, but it's done superbly, flawlessly. Loved it. Please check it out if you haven't. You're Next. Great upgrade by Second Sight. Artwork on the back. No. I loved it. I'm going to frame this. I love the family photo. Super cool. Great cat. What a cast. AJ Barbara Crampton, AJ Bone. Oh man, so cool. Last couple guys. Young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires. I love this film. This is a upgrade of an upgrade. Excuse me. Double dip, I guess. Dr. Death. It's a double feature. I'm not a big fan of Dr. Death, but I like the double feature here, artwork here, like drive-in double feature. I love Young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires. Great European vampire film, very atmospheric, and I essentially just grabbed this for the artwork. Vinegar Syndrome, old Blu-ray that went out of print. I wish they released slipcovers. They did that for a while of previous films that went out of print. I don't know why they won't do one for Young Hannah, Queen of the Vampires, but I got this one. Super cool. That's from Dark Force Entertainment. Lastly, guys, my all-time favorite zombie film, Fulci's Zombie on 4K. I haven't watched this upgrade yet. Yeah, I mean, all due respect to Romero films, but this is my favorite zombie film. Iconic kills, and I don't know. That's it, guys. Chars, thank you so much for watching. Got through it all. As far as updates go, I'll probably not do one probably till like maybe late February, early March. But I hope to see you guys January 11th live on YouTube, Saturday, January 11th, 7 o'clock Eastern. Again, if you don't make it live, you can watch the replay. But it's just cool, dynamic live. I get a lot of regulars that have joined me. I had a few new people last year. Again, if you're new to the channel, haven't said this phrase in a long time. I never really enjoyed saying this, but like and subscribe if you're new. There will be more content down the road. I do have a podcast called Cannibal Holocast. It is on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So there's only 3 or 4 episodes. I will get back into it someday. I have a studio that I'm working on upstairs here at the house, but just a lot going on with, again, like the band stuff, trying to wrap that up and tie that together, and just stuff around the house, and just, you guys know how it is, just life. And down the road, especially when I'm done with music, that'll definitely be my new, or at least something I'll be able to spend a lot of time on, podcasting and doing more content on this channel than just the awards. And anyway, it's really nice to talk to you all. Please comment, engage a little bit here. I miss you all. Chars, have a safe and fun holiday season. I'll see you at the Hornies, guys. Stay scared. Be kind to each other. Chars, everybody. I am out.